Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and thank you for watching my video again. So, I wanted to tell one incident that happened with me, but I hope that doesn't happen with any of you guys. In 2021, I was applying for German universities, and while applying, I missed one document which I got late from my university, because of which I couldn't apply for 4 universities. The application date of the university was already gone. It was because it was the ending of the COVID, where the documents, generally what was expected to receive for 2 weeks, I received it after 4 weeks, and that's where the application date was already gone and I couldn't apply for universities. I would also give one of the reason why that happened was I didn't have the list of document what was required for the German university application. So in this video, I will give you all the documents list which are required and which you should keep handy with you before application of German universities. It doesn't matter if it's private or public. You will need these documents for both of the universities. But yeah, some of the documents might differ if you're applying for an English speaking or you're applying for a German taught program. That's only the difference. But I hope this video helps you to make all your documents ready and then you start your application with a good hit. For more such videos, press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. The first document what you should have is the passport. I didn't have my passport when I was when I was thinking of a German university application. I think I started everything from scratch, where I had to apply for the passport. It took me around 4 to 5 weeks and more, and then I have to apply for the German university. So the process was really very hectic and it really stressed me out a lot. I couldn't sleep nicely. I was also always thinking of the document and it took a lot of time. I didn't want that to happen with you. So for passport, you should have 1.5 years of validity, at least 1.5 years of validity. And why is that so? Because it can happen that your visa might take longer time, depending on which country are you applying your passport. The visa application might differ from which country are you applying. For example, I knew that for India, you need almost 3 to 4 months for visa application. But if you think of a country from Bangladesh, where I had my one of my roommate, she actually told me that she need to have 6 months for her visa application. What if the passport expires during that period? That's where you get your visa rejection. You don't want to take that risk, because then you need to apply the whole process again and it could be really headache for you. So yeah, having a passport with a good validity, good expiry date would be the best choice. Speaking about the next document is the transcript. What is transcript? The transcript is the document that you get from the university regarding your bachelor's degree. It's the document, if you want to get, you need to email the university that you need a transcript. It might take up to 4 weeks to receive. The transcript is the document where it states all the topics what you have learned during your bachelor's and for how many hours. For example, if it also mentions how many musculoskeletal hours did you do, how many neurological hours did you do. So for example, why does it matter? Because when you're applying for a German university, the German government, the German university people would try to compare your master's with your bachelor's. For example, you have done the master's and you have applying for a sports program, then they will always check how many musculoskeletal hours did you do. Was it relevant to the program which you applied? Do you know, or do you have some knowledge about the program what you're applying for? So this really matters. Imagine my one of the classmate, was an engineer, still he applied for my program, which was the sports analysis. How did he get entry? Because he did some sports certification which was accepted by the university. So what they need is the relevance to your degree. Whatever program you're applying, you should be sure that you have something relevant, and you have something relevant connected to your degree. So this document, the transcript which you get from the university, you don't get too many. They are always sealed in an envelope and you get only 5 of them. It might differ from the universities to universities, but yeah, 4 to 5 are the general number. But You also need to pay for that one document. So for example, you finish all the 5 of them, you just don't have anything more, and then that's where you need to again apply to the universities and again pay that 2000 euros or 3000 euros depending on the university, and do the whole process again. So it is always better to have enough number of transcript with you. 4 to 5 is my recommended choice, because many of the universities you need to apply online. You don't need all the universities to send a document physically. So in that case, 1 or 2 documents always remain by your side, and document which is very useful is obviously your degree certificate, the degree which you get on completion of your bachelor's of physiotherapy. But if you are someone who is still studying and want to apply for German universities, you can provide your provisional degree until you get your degree certificate, because there are also some universities which allow you to do the application while you're still studying or while you're in this last semester. So the next document which you need is the proof of language certificate. This really depends on which university are you applying for. They have different criterias, and according to the level of the language, they will always give you the level of certificate what they need. So if you want to apply for an English taught program, it's really necessary to have at least B2 level or a IELTS score between 6.5 to 8. It really differs from the universities to universities. I remember during my time, I applied to the university and I asked them if it's okay if I have IELTS 7 and the criteria is 7.5, am I eligible? And I received the email saying, no, not at all. You can't apply and you can't get, because the level of English what they are speaking in the university for this program is 7.5. That's why we do not expect the people or accept the people from the with less IELTS score. If you're applying for a German language certificate, it's really necessary to see the institute in which you did the German language certificate. For example, you want to apply for a German taught program, but you did somewhere from a random institute, and then you expect that certificate to be accepted in the German university, that will be rejected. Why? Because really it's very necessary to do the certificates from a certified institute. Cities expect you to have a Goethe certificate, a TELC certificate, or a DAS certificate, and that should be between A1 to B2. This really differs. For example, if you're applying for a mixed language certificate, A1 and A2 is also enough. But when you're applying for purely a German taught program, then B2 is very needed. Some universities also need TOEFL. The score of TOEFL should be 90 plus for applying for university. The next document which is very important for the German university application is the CV. So in CV, it's very important how you have the format. So if you're preparing your CV, it's very important to have it in a German format, German European format. The Europeans generally have a CV between 1.5 to 2 pages. I would not suggest you to have more than 2 pages. Here, it's also necessary to use the specific websites for the CV. I've also shared the websites on my Instagram channel, where you can go and have a look for which are the European websites which you can use for preparing a European CV. For example, you have already did the application for your passport, you already have your degree in your hand, you have already applied for the transcript. I think it's the right time you start preparing your CV. It really differs. I would suggest you to have a CV differing for every universities. For example, if one university is focusing on sport, you need to have the sports experience at the top. You need to highlight the sport experience more compared to the other one. For example, you have applied for a neurological program, then it's also necessary to focus in the CV what neurological thing have you done in your bachelor's degree, or in your, maybe you have done some workshop, maybe you have done some awards, it's very important to mention that. The CV, I would suggest you to start with the career summary, which could be around 2 to 3 lines, not more than it. But that should be very effective line and should be very personal. It should not be something taken from the website or something like that. Yeah, definitely, but you can use the chat GPT to make it something personal. Then the next thing what you should mention is the work certificate, work experience. Here when you're applying, you should not only write, yeah, I worked in this hospital. You should highlight in that hospital what work really you did. So for example, you have applied for a program related to sports. Maybe you can apply something or write in this hospital, I have dealt with the patient with sports injuries. I have dealt with patients with ACL injury. It really is a simple thing, but has a good impact on whenever you apply. Hence, it is also important to start from the current year to the downgrading the year. It is also important to mention what voluntary work have you done till here for the German university application. For example, you have worked in some of the camps, or you have done working in some of the clinical setups just for few months. That doesn't matter, but if it's related to your program, do mention it. That's also very important. Then comes the language proficiency. It also differs. For example, if you're applying for a German university German taught program, take the German taught program German language, highlight it, or take at the start. Then, or example, if you are applying for an English taught program, then maybe keep the English and top IELTS score at the top, so that it's easily so that it's easily seen. Because many times people don't have time, and then they just overlook it, and they might miss the important point what you are trying to tell. Avoid writing sentences, write even the experiences in the bullet form. Also mention the skills or hobbies, what extra do you have, the awards what you have won till now, maybe what the certifications what you have done related to the program. For example, if you have a very long CV, you can maybe neglect the awards which are not related to the program, but mention more and more in detail about the specific one program or one certification what you have done related to the program, so that again it's highlighted. Let me know in the comments what are the documents or document information you need to have, so that I mention it in my coming video. Definitely do watch the part 2, so that you have more detailed information on which documents you need to have in your hand. So friends, this is the part 1 of list of documents what you need for the German university application. But do watch the part 2, where I will tell you in detail how to write the SOP, how to write the letter of motivation and recommendation, and how does it differ from each other. That's a very important letter you need to have when you're applying. So yeah, let's see you next time, and hope you stay well. Bye bye.